everyone. In today's video, we are going to talk about American management and different ways of doing business in America. America is one of the most advanced nations of the world. America is, in fact, leader in modern management techniques. The economy of America is a free economy, and people lead their lives freely without much social checks and barriers. One of the paradoxes about the States is that we all know it from the media, films, and music, and we all form an internal image of the country and the way things are done there. The problem is that when you start to do business in the USA, you find that your internal image is a far cry from the reality you encounter on the ground. We go to the States with a million preconceptions, only to find them all challenged during the cut and thrust of normal business activities. People often arrive in the States with the notion that it is the land of freewheeling capitalism, where everything goes and red tape has been eradicated. Nothing could be further from the truth. Doing business in the States is as complex and challenging as in another new international market. You need to do the same amount of initial research and strategizing when entering in the USA market as you do anywhere else in the world. Don't be pulled into a false sense of security. Many have and suffered the consequences. At Global Business Culture, we are often amazed that clients feel they need to gain a better understanding of Chinese or Brazilian business culture, but that the USA will somehow be easy or in some way business culture free. Like all countries, the USA has a distinct and formidable business culture which drives most strategy and day-to-day interactions.
In this segment, we're going to talk about American meetings. When asked to describe meetings in the USA, the word which Americans often use is aggressive. This confrontational approach, where openly and directly debating all the relevant issues, even at the expense of personal relationships, is valued. It's very alien to those cultures which always put diplomacy and harmony at the heart of their approach to meetings. Meetings often include formal presentations by one or more of the participants, and these presentations are a vital element in the demonstration of professional competence. Thus, presentations should not only be relevant and well-researched, but also delivered in a positive, enthusiastic, and committed manner. The meeting, and especially one in which a presentation has to be made, is seen as an opportunity to impress, important if professional success is to be achieved. Meetings are increasingly virtual, with one or more participants joining from a completely separate location by either conference call or video link. These meetings can often prove less successful than face-to-face meetings due to communication difficulties, especially if some participants are non-native English speakers. And it's possible that the right skill sets are not always in place to make the most of these difficult meeting times.
Concerning American teams, in the States, teams are groups of individuals brought together for the moment to complete a given task or project. During the period that the group is together, everybody is expected to be fully committed to the common goals and to work with dedication and purpose to ensure that those goals are achieved. It is important to show enthusiasm for the project and to show belief in the ultimate achievement of the objectives. Old word cynicism is not really appreciated or understood. When the project is complete, the team will rapidly dissipate, its members moving on the next task with equanimity. To break up a team in the fluid employment environment of the USA is less traumatic than in other group-oriented cultures where identity is subsumed to the group. In the States, teams are expected to be transitory in nature.
Women in business in the USA. Women play an active part in business in the US and have done so for many years, although progress to the boardroom might still be more difficult than for a man. A large percentage of American executives are women, and this percentage is rising year on year. It's important to be seen to be politically correct on gender issues in the workplace. Treat women as equal to men in all business dealings. Any perceived stereotyping would be regarded very badly.
Let's talk now about USA business hierarchy. Every business needs many skills like determination, perseverance, creativity, and flexibility to become successful. To implement these skills, it also requires efficient management. USA business hierarchy is one of the most successful hierarchy in the world, and most of underdeveloped countries follow it as their role model for economical growth. American business culture is best example of corporate governance and business leadership. USA business hierarchy structures are mostly created to achieve a goal as well as support everybody involved in organization. In USA business governance designations, positions and duties are clearly mentioned. USA business culture also gives ample freedom to their people to achieve goals with rigid duties. The USA business hierarchy includes following designations. The first one is Managing Director. Generally, Managing Director is founder of organizations or his successor. The major role of Managing Director is to make sure that organization achieves its goals, and he provides leaderships as well as direction to the staff. He is the highest position in the organization. The second one is Chief Executive Officer. CEO is the second highest position in the organizational hierarchy. The major role of CEO is to implement all decisions taken by Managing Director and the board of directors. He is responsible for day-to-day running as well as management of organization and overall performance of the company. He has to develop and deliver organization strategic plan in efficient and effective manner. The third one is Board of Directors. This group is subordinate to Managing Directors. Managing Directors delegates his responsibilities to the Board of Directors. It is a body of appointed or elected members who together oversees activities of an organization. The duties of Board of Directors include governing the company by finalizing board policies as well as objectives. Other major roles of Board of Directors are approving annual budgets as well as ensuring the accessibility of financial resources.
General managers. These people are responsible for planning, coordinating, and organizing to achieve targeted sale and profit to the company. They provide vision and leadership to the company by assisting board as well as staff. They are authorized to execute policies to strengthen revenues as well as reduce operational costs, which translate into profits. Their title varies from industry to industry. Managers. They concentrate on the strengths of their staff and motivate people to deliver their best. They create favorable atmosphere for people to work for the growth of organization. The major responsibility of any manager is to utilize the system in such a manner that it can create internet profit. They play effective role to motivate staff for the betterment of the organization. Finally, staff. Every organization requires skillful and dedicated staff to establish a competitive world of business. Top-level management can make policies by its staff which implements these policies in day-to-day business affairs. Hence, role of staff is very important in the growth of any organization.
Now, I will try to answer some questions that can be asked. The first one is how to be a manager in the United States. Being a manager in the US is not a simple task and requires a lot of skills and patience. Managers usually treat their employees with a lot of respect, focus on schedules and maximize results. In the US, it is of common belief that in an organization, each person has an important role to play and are very valuable for their input. For that reason, managers tend to consult their employees to gather info and often take their opinion into account when making a big decision. The working environment recently is suffering drastic changes due to the globalization, and because of that, American managers are more and more often offering part-time to shared jobs and outsourcing. Change is constant as companies are restructured. The second question is, what is the role of a manager? Managers in the US have two main objectives. The first one is they take the most important decisions. The second is they maximize the employees' production while offering them a good working environment. Approach to change. Americans are very open for change. They have pretty open minds. They have a high tolerance for risk and take them without hesitation.
Now we will move to the next part. It's about approaching to time and priorities. The Americans have a control type culture. They usually use their time as best as they can to maximize production. Adherence to the schedule is a must. Decision making. American managers always take the most important decisions, though they gather information with their employees that have an influence on their final decisions. They empower the employees to be more free to take actions without consulting them rather than doing it themselves. They empower the employees to be more free to take actions without consulting them rather than doing it themselves. Are you a boss or team player? Americans work better in groups than individually. Employees are encouraged to generate ideas, to be dynamic, and are very valued for their actual contribution and are all treated with equal respect. Communication and negotiation styles. The American style on negotiation varies from person to person. However, there are some characteristics that most of them share. First one, the American negotiator tends to be informal and skip all the main formalities. They go straight to the point instead of twisting around the core subject. And secondly, they inspire confidence and trust. And if the negotiation comes to an impasse, their tenacity, creativity, and persuasiveness will come out. They also expect their counterparts around the negotiation to be similarly direct and straightforward.